Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Natasha Kirchak here with ILTV's Morning Briefing.
The Israeli Prime Minister may be in the center of a major mess right now, but despite all of the corruption allegations against him, polls are revealing that his Likud party would still remain the largest if elections were held today. A Channel 10 news report is claiming that Netanyahu has threatened to call early elections if anyone tries to force him to resign or suspend himself. The Prime Minister allegedly has the credibility to make that threat, and his Likud party would likely remain in power following new elections. According to polls, Likud would win 27 seats if Netanyahu were in charge, down from its current 30 and 26 without him, leaving Yesh Atid in second with 23 seats. Despite the continuing strength of his Likud party, another poll commissioned by Israel's Hadashot News claims that 50% of respondents think Netanyahu himself should resign, with a mere 33% saying he should remain in office. This week, the former Director General of the Communications Ministry and a longtime confidant of the Prime Minister turned state witness in the newest corruption investigation into the leader. Filber reportedly told police he was once fired from his position as chief of staff of Netanyahu's office for not allowing the premier to keep an expensive watch given to him by the Italian prime minister. Netanyahu is continuing to deny all wrongdoing. Now, get this, it looks like Poland is backtracking ever so slightly on its controversial Holocaust law. The new law bans people from mentioning Polish complicity in World War II, but now a top governmental official says doing so will not lead to criminal charges. The recently adopted law has sparked a major conflict between Israel and Poland, with Israeli officials accusing Poland of trying to rewrite history, and even deny the reality of the Holocaust. It didn't help when the Polish Prime Minister asserted that there were also, quote, Jewish perpetrators in the Holocaust, while responding to the question of an Israeli reporter. Initially, the law stated that those who referred to Nazi concentration camps in Israel as Polish death camps could face up to 3 years of jail time. But now Polish officials say in the event of so-called false accusations, Poland will simply react, demand clarifications, and argue against them. But here's the positive catch. No means of prosecution will be implemented. Well, despite the statement, Jewish protesters are still outraged by the entire affair. In fact, one American Jewish philanthropic organization is urging the United States to suspend its ties with Poland over the country's new law. The Rudderman Family Foundation has launched a campaign that includes a petition for suspension. The Qatari-owned news station Al Jazeera is once again facing sharp criticism, but this time it's for interviewing an Israeli official. On Tuesday night, the station hosted the IDF spokesperson for Arabic media, Avichai Adrai, on one of its most popular shows, The Opposite Direction. This, of course, wasn't the first time that an Israeli has been hosted on Al Jazeera's Arabic television. But this particular show is already famous for its provocative style and staunch criticism of Arab governments and leaders. In this case, Adrai was invited to appear on the show to debate the retired Syrian army officer Salah Khairata, all about the recent tensions between Israel, Iran, and Syria. Well, even before the show was aired, Arab protesters called for canceling it, claiming Al Jazeera was giving a platform to the, quote, Zionist enemy and is promoting normalization with Israel. The IDF officer's post on Twitter didn't help either, where he wrote in Arabic, "For the first time, an IDF officer participates in the Opposite Direction program on Al Jazeera. I will tell viewers in the Middle East that wherever there's corruption and evil, we find the hands of Iran." It looks like Israel isn't the only country happy about its latest gas deal. The Egyptian president says his nation, quote, scored a goal by closing a natural gas deal with the Israeli company Delek Drilling and the American company Noble Energy. Egypt has just signed a $15 billion deal with the partners, meaning the energy companies will be transferring a total of 64 billion cubic meters of gas over a 10-year period to the Egyptian enterprise Dolphinus Holdings. The gas is expected to start flowing next year, although it's not clear as to how. Egypt believes the deal will help turn the country into a regional energy hub, and the Israeli Prime Minister is calling the whole affair historic for the state of Israeli-Egyptian relations. Egypt was the first country to make peace with Israel in 1979, but economic agreements have tended to be controversial because of the Egyptian public support for the Palestinians. It looks like the long-awaited speedy train service between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv is farther away than we originally thought. Israel Railways is reporting that the service will be delayed for at least 6 months because it lacks certain safety permits. The train service is supposed to link the two cities in 30 minutes or less, which could change the face of not only travel in Israel, but also economic development in Jerusalem. The fire service unfortunately hasn't yet granted the necessary permits for the fast train, meaning Transportation Minister Israel Katz is going to have to take back his promises that the service would be available just before the Passover holiday in 2018.
That's all for now. I'm Natasha Kirchak, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.